Hey, what's up, guys? Did you miss us? We were out for a week. I was on vacation, so um, tried to wrangle the show, try to do a test, and that kind of failed, right? We didn't get a Wednesday show off like we were hoping, but welcome to Crazy Pinfalls, guys. How you doing? What's up, bud? How you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm doing well. Thanks.
It's going to be an interesting. We're going to try something different. We're going to do a prediction show for Full Gear. We've got one of the combatants coming in during it, so a little different, little something interesting, especially since the tournament's starting to heat up. So why not add that into the mix? What are your thoughts on the before Lewis comes in for his predictions part of the half of Full Gear on that card, because it's a stacked card?
Oh yeah. So it's a really stacked card. All the matches interest me. The build up for every single match has interest me. Uh, I'm looking forward to the main event, Hangman versus Omega. This is a long time in the making. Ever since they've been a team since last year. The incredible tag team one is Omega. Became this cocky heel, and this is the rise of Hangman. Page, I know they had to go away for a bit. He had to go away for a bit because of his wife is in labor and his child was born. But they came back to it. I loved the ending to Dynamite. The Kingston Punk match. I loved how on Rampage how intense those promos were to each other. That felt real. And Punk, I know he's a face, but the way he was like an honest person there. He wasn't being like a heel per se, even though he was kind of acting like one. I like about AEW. There's tend to be tweeners at time, right? And
There's your boy
also,
Chris Parrish, by the way, famous wrestler from Love Wrestling, showing some love. Hey Parrish, I'll send you a link if you're not working. Come by.
what else is there? Um, Darby Allen versus MJF. And
Yeah,
I gotta be honest with you, I'm not looking forward. I'm not looking forward to the with the Dan Lambert's team versus the Inner Circle because I really don't those UFC fighters. I know at one point they were like they're popular, like, but they're not like the guys anymore. Like Mazov. When they have Mazov a couple of times, Mazov is a different story. You know?
I think with AEW, with the storylines they got and stuff like that, everything's going in the right way.
Yeah.
For me, like I've turned off on WWE for the most part, but I mean, a lot of the stuff they're trying to do in the NXT side of it's been interesting. A lot of the stuff with Dakota and Raquel, like, listening to a lot of the reviews and all that stuff, and it's kind of hard trying to catch up on some of that stuff recently. But like a lot of people are not liking this version of Dakota, where it's like the stalker-ish kind of obsessed
Crazy.
version. Yeah.
Yeah. She lost her mind and something like yeah.
And for me, it's more so like I like the traditional aspect of what she is and what she built it up
She should be
compared
called
to
up.
others. Yeah, they should have moved forward and went
Yeah.
from there. So it makes more sense to have her up on the main roster at this point than anything. Um, Braun Breaker literally is like when they brought him with Champa, that's great. But now it's like, what's next?
They're pushing him really, really hard because he was on the tour, the European tour, and he's been with Cesaro and Sami Zayn, I think Sheamus. They're really pushing him to be like the next. I wouldn't say Roman Reigns, but the next major superstar of WWE. I think they're fast tracking him. That could hurt him though. That could hurt
Yeah,
him.
no, that's going to stunt his growth. And I think they're looking at him like a Cena. They have to
Yeah,
get Roman his next opponent
he's
on
never
that
gonna get
level.
that. He's never gonna be like. He's never gonna be that level. I mean, I think it's a talent, and I think his promos are getting better. But that name, that's a make or break name.
It's also the main roster crowds are not like the NXT crowds. It's like they'll
No,
literally just chew you up and spit you out. So I mean, it's an interesting part. For me though, NXT is kind of okay, but I'm waiting to see what happens because it's still early, somewhat. I'm trying to give him some slack, compared to where it was.
They're doing NXT War Games. It's not Takeover anymore. War Games, and like what they have like a month to build, but like who can you see on a teaming up with each other?
Are they doing that in December?
Yeah, early December. Yes.
Wow, that's off because usually they do it this month.
Well, they did in December last year too, but last year there was actually build up for like War Games. You had like the women's build up, and you had Pat McAfee's team versus like Undisputed Era. Here, I don't know what the build up is here.
Well, Parrish. But anyways, Parrish is at a bar watching a game. Oh. Well, Lewis just came in, so let me pull this up right here. So the tournament's heating up. We're going to segue for a little bit and do some of this tournament stuff. And Aaron, you want to hang in there and you can give your picks too if you want?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, and we got 2 special guests going on. You got your boy right there, and I guess Lewis kind of froze. So, what's up, Rob? How you doing?
Hola.
By the way, Rob did an awesome prediction show with Sean, by the way. So go check that out on Fightful's side. So we're going to have Lewis on there, and you've already made your picks, but you can talk about your opinions on this stuff. I did make an announcement on Tale of Two Beards or Between Two Beards. There's going to be a major card for Survivor Series for a triple threat. I'm changing the bracket a little bit with your permission, of course. I know Dennis Farrell wouldn't care. But you both want one person in this tournament. Might as well give you guys what you want, considering all 3 of you have moved forward. What do you think of going after Drew now, since you and Dennis finally get what you guys been going after?
Let's do it. I'll whip both their asses. I'm gonna finish them both. What I'm gonna do is do an F5 to both of them at the same time. Just gonna lift them, and it's gonna be over. How you doing there?
He's just stunned about it.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be good, and I'm excited for a good weekend. Gonna meet Sean tomorrow for the first time in person. So that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous on that.
I saw the Dumb and Dumber meme about that.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
Now, are you picking him up at the hotel, up at the airport?
Yep.
Yep,
picking up him and a few other people. So.
Oh, great! You're gonna be that guy with the sign.
Yeah, no. I thought about it to be funny, but then I was like, no, not going that far.
His sign should be the Dong Lord.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at you. I'll be like, what's the Dong Lord?
But yeah, I'm excited for that. And got Rampage tomorrow, and then on Saturday we got the big pay-per-view.
Out of the whole thing for AEW, what is the one thing you're looking forward to other than the pay-per-view?
Oh, well, the thing is I'm obviously the thing with Rampage is I'm one of the very few people that I shouldn't say few people. I really enjoyed AEW Dark because you get to see a lot of people you've never seen before. So I'm really anxious about that. I did hear one of the matches, which I normally don't. Nobody really knows the matches that are scheduled for Dark before you're there. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say it's unfortunate, but I did learn of one of the matches tomorrow, and I'm really excited about it. I told the person that told me this I would not report it or anything. So it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm definitely excited for that. So yeah, I think other than the pay-per-view, obviously the pay-per-view is going to be stacked. I've been lucky enough to say I've been to some pretty good shows at the Target Center for wrestling. I mean, the first pay-per-view they ever had was SummerSlam 99, and that featured the triple threat match between Mankind, Triple H, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, with Jesse Ventura being the special guest referee.
Great match.
And then I went to Judgment Day.
The ending was just wrong for that match. Having Triple H not win there was a big mistake.
Yeah, that was an issue. That was the only thing I did not like about that show. Yeah. And then I went to Judgment Day 2005 or 2006, where it was John Cena versus JBL, and they had their Falls Count Anywhere match or submission match. I can't remember which one, and that was fantastic. And then, the Elimination Chamber 2014, you had the best 3-on-3 WWE match, I guess 6-man tag match I've ever seen in WWE, and that was the Shield versus the Wyatt family. That match was just absolutely nuts and awesome. And then my favorite match that I've been able to ever see there was AJ Styles versus the Demon, Finn Balor. So
you get all these good shows, dude.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I have, and I think just based on what I see on paper, this Full Gear is going to blow everything out of the water. I think. Being able to see Omega versus Adam Page is going to be great. Adam Cole's one of my favorite wrestlers.
It's hard to top Balor versus Styles. So
well, those two are like my favorite like wrestlers. AJ Styles is my favorite wrestler. Like,
oh yeah,
like other than Bret Hart, like AJ Styles is up there for me. I love AJ, so that was a big deal. And I mean, just from the wrestling, with AEW being so young, this is gonna have. It's big. You're gonna have CM Punk's versus Eddie Kingston. That if you would have told somebody 2 years ago that we would see that, I would have told you you're blinking nuts. You know, like I'd want what you're smoking. But it's going to be great. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good weekend. I've been really promoting Minnesota for the most part, trying to make sure people try to have a good time here.
And the thing about it is that with certain venue events like this, it's one of those things that promotes harmony in the community, especially with everything that's happened in the past year. And for me, it's more so great to see, stuff that you get to enjoy, Rob, on a regular basis that comes in and you can see, you and me talked periodically about baseball and you going to see Twins games. I would love to go to see Twins games. I would love to go see a Red Sox game right now. It's so goddamn expensive.
Yeah, it is. And that's why I try not to, I just try to have like fun here and there, like just save my money for things like this. Cause the things that I've noticed as I've gotten older, probably like you guys, is I don't need like things like, like I'd rather have the memories than having something physical.
I'll tell you one thing from my experience: wrestling events are more fun than sporting events.
Yeah, and especially this crowd is going to be more hyped up. It's going to be probably the biggest like hyped up crowd that I've seen since probably the ECW days for me. Like when I used to go to ECW shows. Yeah. And to an extent NXT house shows were always, that's where you always got the hardcore fans, but it wasn't
house shows are amazing.
I love house shows. I think they're
I miss it.
I think they're underrated. I don't think they get enough I don't think they get enough attention. I mean, there's wrestlers that would that would just rather wrestle at house shows than do Raw. Like I can't remember which WWE wrestler said this a few years ago. He said he would do house shows over Raw just because he's not on TV much. He goes, he goes, I would rather just. He basically said they work. Basically, the way he said it, and I can't remember who it was, but WWE would do like Friday through Monday house shows, and then Tuesday would be SmackDown. Well, he said that he would rather just do the Friday, Saturday, Sunday house show, and then go to where SmackDown is and do the Monday house show, and then leave. Basically, like he'd rather wrestle 4 days a week, 4 days in a row, and not be on Raw unless he was guaranteed a match. That's the way he said it, and it
makes more sense because of the fact that you're, like you said, they get work, but also
that's disturbing.
I have no clue why Anakin's thing is on there. That's just wrong, man. Oh God, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. Yeah, and you know what? When it comes back, like I'm just gonna talk baseball a little bit. Like they're talking about all these moves in off season, and we don't even know there's gonna be a CBA. Like seriously.
I'm gonna yell at Anakin for that, considering the fact that him doing that. It's like, what the hell, man?
You know, Fightful just put a story out that Staples Center tweeted out that Lesnar vows to buy a ringside seat at the Los Angeles Friday Night Smackdown on December 10th. So.
Lesnar confirmed against Roman.
Oh, so they might want to promote the January 1st pay-per-view, possibly with Lesnar versus Roman.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm done with that stuff. I'm done with that whole Roman.
It's so weird. Pierce is
Rock.
Lesnar beat the crap out of Pierce, and Pierce comes back to the heel. What the hell happened? No. He's enough of these wrestlers. It's enough.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good show. I'm looking forward to. I get to meet Cassidy Haynes of BodySlam.net tomorrow. Yeah. I'll meet Denise Salcedo, and a couple other people that I know will be there. And I'm starting to see that people that haven't even really said anything on Twitter are going to be going. Like there's a couple other names that I saw. So I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting some people. It's a good way to network and like I'll be doing an MMA show on Body Slam starting.
I know. December. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I made sure like the one thing I said to like Sean and I'm a Fightful guy, so like, and he liked the idea of me doing an MMA show for Cassidy since they're not doing MMA. They're doing like the fight night watch-alongs instead of MMA podcast. So it just gets me more experience, and it's going to be awesome.
That, and plus, like for me, somebody who's just wants to keep learning, I can ask questions, and you always help me out anyway. So I mean, that's what's the best part about it. But we definitely need you to get to Boston at some point.
Yeah, I want to, man. Well, you guys are getting that. What pay-per-view are you guys getting next year? I think I saw that you were getting one. I just can't remember which one it was.
I have no idea what the pay-per-view locations are next year. I just know about WrestleMania and Royal Rumble.
Well, look who popped in. He with the Fightful shirt too.
Hello.
There's the other person in the triple threat match. What do you think? They finally asked for it, and even though things don't align, I will allow it, and that triple threat will happen. Dennis Farrell versus Big Money Drew versus your boy Rob Wilkins.
It's you guys get Survivor Series next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What?
It's going to be a Thanksgiving theme.
Yeah, we were talking about Boston, and I said they were getting a pay-per-view next year. I just couldn't remember which one it was, and I looked it up, and it's Survivor Series.
Survivor Series is about 15 minutes away from me later this month.
Yeah.
Are you going?
Nope. Actually, I can't go because I'll be going to Niagara Falls anyway. So I won't even be in town. Well, WWE is.
Well, we're still waiting on Lewis because of his technical stuff, and he's going to do his JJ thing, and we'll all be a part of it. It's going to be a little different and a little fun.
What was this about me and a triple threat?
Yeah. Did you watch Between the Two Beards last week?
I did not, actually.
For the first time, two people who have been begging to face you are actually going to get their wish. Beat your opponent, Mr. Rob Wilkins, your boy, versus Dennis Farrell.
I thought Rob
who got Tony Khan to be on the show.
Yeah, that's. I have to commend my foe there on
versus
Tony Khan.
Yep. So one of the matches coming up is going to be a triple threat match, and it's going to be the three of you going into the next round. Now, I bypassed it because I'm going to talk to one other person, and I might end up making it a fatal 4-way if they agree. So, and put two people, the top two in that match, move on to the next round. So we'll see.
Pay-per-view is this going to be?
I haven't decided yet. I'm working on the brackets again to realign everything right, because you were supposed to face whoever won against Spencer and Parrish, so I have to figure out where to put them into it. But stars aligned, everything worked out. You won your second chance in, and I couldn't resist it. So why not? It's one of those things that's a main event kind of thing, and if the other person agrees and whoever's the top two answers moves on.
All right. Well, this is interesting because I did not jump on here expecting that Rob Wilkins was going to be a future opponent of mine.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, it'll be a good battle, and it'll be kind of like Brian Danielson and Rocky Romero last night. We'll have our battle, and then we'll shake hands and call it a night, and then I'll turn heel again. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I am done with I myself am done with the two belts thing. So I just have Kenny Omega over the Universal Championship now because, fuck that.
Yeah.
If Omega loses this Saturday, are you going to get rid of that picture?
I'll replace it with Hangman.
Okay, yeah, good point.
Until he ended up getting the Wicked Crazy Pinfalls title.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the funny thing is that if you happen to notice up here now, I don't have space for a title anymore. So I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna have to figure out. Maybe can Baby Yoda be the champion? Maybe I'll have it around his waist.
Yeah. But what are your expectations of the pay-per-view this weekend?
I'm expecting excitement because it's Full Gear. There's some incredible matches. One just built in the past couple of weeks with Punk and Eddie, and the other with Hangman, of course, and the guy right here, Kenny Omega. That's going to be the culmination of a 2-year build, and man, is that going to be exciting because he is definitely kicking out of that one-winged angel. Not a doubt in my mind.
Well, you guys get to find out soon enough, right? I mean, this weekend's getting here quicker, and Rob was talking about how he'll be there too. What are you guys' expectations going from AEW to WWE? We're getting closer and closer to Survivor Series. Aaron brought something up about talking about Becky and comments she said.
The started stuff, what she said in an interview. I think part of it is a work.
Oh, I do too. I do. I mean, I think it's not as bad as they made it out. Okay, let me rephrase. What happened on that? What was it? SmackDown that Friday night where they had
the belt exchange. That Friday night. Yeah.
Okay, so whatever happened there sucked, but I think it was one of those things where everybody cooled down, and now I think they're just gonna try to build it bigger, and that's the way to go. Because I know two things: they like money and they want the stage. So
you got two heels going at it also, and with the way Becky Lynch she has to be a hero, stuff like that. To me, that's work. That's a work statement.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna get it set up for that finally pulling that trigger in Dallas for the full horsewoman? Because isn't Bayley's projection for her return around that time frame?
I think it's
possible, but I don't know. Vince, the thing about Vince is he doesn't like to give the fans what they want, and if they do, it takes forever.
Bayley comes back. She's coming back as a huggable Bayley.
I think she wins Royal Rumble if she's good to go. If she's good to go.
So you would put her in that Cena spot at number 30, at Madison Square Garden kind of vibe.
I always think and that's the thing. I don't like the mystery guest or the mystery opponent or mystery person to be the last person. I like them being right around number 25 or so. That way you still get a little hope you might see somebody else come through. I mean, that's not a big deal, but I mean, that's what I liked about like the Edge when he returned. I love the spot he came in because
I loved it too. And then the next year he was number 1.
yeah.
Well, I
but for
mean,
me,
that does
Bailey.
take some gonas.
I'm just the thing is and granted, I finally came to terms that the WWE is not they're not making a show for people our age. They're just not. They're going for that young demographic.
That's what I don't get about NXT. Whose age is it for? For the adult age?
Yeah.
It sounds like because
I don't. But the
That's
thing
And young
is,
people watching it. So
yeah, and well, see, this is what like I realized this because
yeah.
this is probably about a month and a half ago. I was listening to like our local sports radio station. And it was a former Minnesota Viking that basically said that he wasn't able to watch like this football game because his kid wanted to watch WWE, and they were watching Smackdown, and they just kind of like the host joked about it, and he goes, it's and the football player said it's a lot different than when I watched, with The Rock and Stone Cold, and now my kid just loves it, and he just laughs at some of the stuff, and the guy goes, well, who's his favorite wrestler? And he goes, it's some guy named Otis. He's just this big, like, slow guy, and he just absolutely loves him. And that's when it like really hit me that this just isn't designed for. It's not made for me. Granted, they
you know
want me
what?
to watch, but
I'll say this about WWE. You're right, but that could be an issue for AEW down the road if they don't get the younger people and they just keep the older audience. That could hurt AEW.
I don't. That's the thing. I think in the long run, I think kids will grow up and then they'll see this, and I think they'll be fine. I think,
but then their kids, and they have to get their kids to see like this, to get into AEW. That's what they have to do.
Yeah,
That's what they have to do.
I think AEW.
If it doesn't happen, AEW fails.
And basically, you need to grow, go for the younger audience, like not the demographic, but a younger branch, like they were doing, because eventually those kids are between the ages of, like, let's say 5 to 10, if they're watching with their parents, will become that key demographic that every television broadcasting network wants, and then ends up getting into, our ages, and they'll be like saying the same things over and again. It happens.
Yeah.
So as much as it, like you said, Rob, it's not what we want, it's what they're trying to establish.
But that's how WWE got popular in the first place. You got to remember, like in the 80s, yeah, they had an adult audience, but Hogan, let's be honest, Hogan was meant for the kids.
Yeah.
And the 80s wrestling was meant for the kids.
Yeah.
But Drew, do you think Cena is the same way too? That they made Cena the same way as Hogan, just for that younger, kid demographic?
Yeah.
You look at the trajectory of everything from the 80s to now. It's like there's always been the one main person that the program is designed around.
Yeah.
And they are majority for the kids. Like that's what Hogan was. That's what Cena was. That's what they tried to make.
The Attitude Era was
Roman.
an exception, right? The Attitude Era was an exception with the Austin and The Rock, even though kids still watched it. Like, the kids loved the Attitude Era too. They watched it.
Right. So I would say the entirety of the Attitude Era was just for. That's when I think it was finally like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this for everybody because everybody's enjoying this, and they put it behind Austin for the most part.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really a kid gimmick with the beer drinking and all that stuff, but like you said,
Attitude Era was like not a kid gimmick.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't really for kids, but it was.
Yeah.
Everybody was watching at that time because that's when wrestling was at its peak. So,
I mean, it also
will AEW ever get to that? Time will tell. I don't know, really. I mean, it won't be any time soon. At least, I would say 4 or 5, maybe 7 years into the future. Something like a real shift in the wrestling atmosphere. Because, like what Rob was just saying about that host, you know, that's a big thing that I see. Hey, Luis.
Hey,
What up?
That's a
What up,
big thing
everyone?
that I see and I think about now, that there are so many people that know of wrestling and what wrestling used to be, and they're not really watching wrestling right now. And if they are, it's because there's a kid or somebody that they know, and they say, "Oh, well, this looks nothing like what it used to be."
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact that Otis, that's kind of weird because considering what Otis is right now.
I was
Now,
like
yeah.
shocked, and then because I was so shocked at that, I shouldn't say shocked. I was surprised. I decided like that evening I was going to do some like research, and I looked at like some like analytic websites and stuff, and Otis's like search like for certain age groups was just like astronomical. I couldn't believe it, and that's what made this, like when they released Bray Wyatt, that was also kind of like one of those things. I looked at his numbers too, and I was just like, how the hell do you get rid of this guy when he's making you that much money just based on merch and
Backstage issues.
and like YouTube videos? Well, yeah, that's the thing. I just I don't know.
Yeah, right.
it's one of those
It
things
isn't
with
Braun
Bray.
within that list too. No, isn't Braun like within that list too, where he was making like a big draw, and then I don't know where he was just released, right? But then again, it also back to the fact that he had this contract that it was humongous, and WWE didn't want to pay that.
Like, I do believe some of the releases. I do think some of the releases are vaccination status. I'm not going to say who. I do think. Well, I'm going to say who. I do think Karrion Kross is Scarred Bordeaux. I don't know about Scarred, but I do think Karrion Kross is released because of that. Not because of they couldn't find any creative for him. Because if you know Karrion Kross, there's rumors of him being a conspiracy theorist, right? I do. Here's the thing. I'm surprised. I don't know. I'm just gonna. I'm not have no evidence. I think B Fab was probably released because of that too. Because why bring her up and we sign her to a contract? Sign her to a contract a week before and just release her. There has to be more to this.
Well, that's the thing. From a business standpoint, and I'm not Brandon Thurston. I am not nearly that smart with numbers, but I am convinced because I've had business and I work for major companies. What Vince and company are doing is they are setting up to sell. Like, I think it's obvious.
Yeah.
Your job, Vince's job, like number one, is to the shareholders. He is there to make the shareholders happy. That's technically his job.
That's why you got Khan there. I think.
Yeah,
And they're setting it. They're setting it all up. Your goal is to cut costs so you make more money, and that's what's going to happen. And I think, this is just my opinion, I think they are going to sell right after they get their TV deals renewed, or depending on where they go. I don't think that I don't think they'll sell before then. I think they're going to sell after.
and that's going to be another thing to point out because the deals are coming up in 2024. No.
Yeah, and they start negotiating. They should start negotiating next year, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's also going to be a thing that they're going to have to identify within how much are the networks going to offer, how much is Fox willing to invest, how much the Peacock is going to be willing to invest. That's going to be something that is going to be interesting, especially with the ratings dropping. I don't know the analytics for Peacock, but that's also going to be something that's going to be refined.
Yeah.
But
the possibility I could see is somebody like ESPN, which I've said before a few times. I've talked to people.
Like Disney?
Yeah,
the
Disney
Cloud
overall.
is always there.
Yeah, Mickey.
I don't want Disney on it.
I saw a meme one time that in about 2020, 22,000, I don't know, some century, that Disney will own everything and we'll all hail as Mickey Mouse as our, president and chief and stuff like that.
You're not
I
lying.
worry about Disney. I think Disney would make it worse.
Yeah, you're not lying.
It'd be worse than this now.
I just saw the other day on the internet that Disney has sex toys now. I mean, it's
really?
No, I'm kidding. But
Oh God!
They did have a sex scene in a movie just come out for them, Marvel, and I'm like, sex scene.
So I
worked
think
me.
This is just my this is just my like prediction. or not prediction. This is just my theory. Whoever buys WWE, it's going to be one of these three companies, or they're going to be affiliated with one of these three companies: NBC Universal, Disney, or Amazon. Jeff Bezos has shown interest before, and I'm kind of curious because he just kind of started doing something with The Rock, like doing some stuff with Buck. What is it, Buck Productions or something? I can't remember.
$7.
Yeah. So and that's just I could totally see Amazon getting in on WWE.
I'd rather have that than Disney.
Yeah, and you mentioned $7 as well. Now, and also Netflix is also someone that we have to keep an eye on because they also like themselves to buy whenever there's a hot property, they like to buy it as well. Because look, most of the anime TV shows, look where they are.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
No, that's true too.
I didn't think about Netflix. I'm thinking more. My two big ones are obviously NBC Universal and because of the Peacock thing right there. I mean that's like
connection right there.
Yeah, or Disney. But I'm really thinking it's gonna end up being NBC.
What if he sells it to Ted Turner if he's still around?
Well, I think Drew's right, but I think Disney is probably going to be the major one. But I wouldn't be shocked, and I'll say this: whoever lands the ROH library, it would be probably really interested in the WWE library, considering it has more than 3 promotions.
Yeah,
other than their own,
Listening to Khan today, listening to Tony Khan say what he said today, like about the ROH, the question that Sean asked him about the ROH library, that he's friends with somebody with Sinclair Broadcasting, is his neighbor, and things I've read and heard is I mean, unless WWE throws a huge number out, it's Tony Khan's is to lose, basically. Like he could do it. And it's easy for me to say, but if I'm Tony Khan, I would jump all over this if I could, because you get HBO involved. HBO's showed interest on HBO Max. You get that library, and then my God, and I would just, it would just be crazy. And the other thing that somebody talked about just yesterday, and it made sense, is Sinclair would be smart to just keep it and license the stuff out. Like, let WWE have like a couple of matches and let them rent it out on Peacock or whatever. Like, let them just do stuff like that. Like, you basically like syndication, like just kind of, hey, you can air it. Yeah, this is how much it'll cost this month. Kind of like back in the day when you'd get home and you'd watch Home Improvement or whatever. It would be something like that. It would just
Simpsons.
it would just be something like that, and that makes a lot of sense too. So we'll see. The one thing that I love about like being so into wrestling is the behind the scenes stuff. I'm just fascinated with the business part.
Yeah, it's been well talked with you and me that you like the production side. I like production too, of broadcasting, podcasting and stuff. I like being behind the camera a lot of the time. So, but why don't all you guys can put your 2 cents in? Rob's done his prediction show with Sean, so he can give, his thoughts on certain things on this. So, Lewis, you versus JJ at Full Gear to get into the 3rd round of this tournament. What are your thoughts against JJ?
I like JJ. This is my first prediction show. I remember that we were supposed to do the Extreme Rules show before, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Full Gear very, very much. It is one of those. It could be one of those shows of the year. Of course, that and Final Battle, although very different circumstances considering where AEW is at and where honor is real. But yes, I really look forward to what Full Gear is going to be looking forward to, and I hope I can win because I want that championship. So,
yeah, you've got a very stacked amount of crew because you still have these 3 on above you to go after in order to get to it. So, and for me, it's going to be interesting because, wherever the title goes, I have to bring it personally. So that should be interesting now.
I am the closest to you. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Hey,
You can
I will
only
be. I'm a Texas guy, so by me, yeah, maybe.
I'm near Boston, so I mean,
I'm
I-
second
I-
closest then.
yeah. Well, kinda. I mean, you want to know who's the really closest? They're on live right now.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. JPJ lives in the next
Yeah,
town,
sure.
so doesn't have Fry. So those are the closest. But on here,
Okay.
you know, the Drew and Aaron are, but I can't let the co-creator get out of the way, and I won't be surprised if I end up in Minnesota next year at some point. So, so we'll go through JJ's picks. We're not going to do like a traditional where you give your thoughts mostly because they'll be probably part of the general conversation on here. So a lot of the matches he says is that it's basically going to be this. You give us your pick. You're going to give your picks for every match, right? It's not going to be a traditional sense because we're live. This is a live show, and it's fun because these guys, for the first time doing it this way, will give their thoughts on your picks. And I don't know, maybe we get some trash talking from Rob or Aaron finally trash talking or something like that. And
Aaron's a coward.
I did all my trash talking with Mark Madden today, so I'm done.
Oh my god, I saw that.
That's an easy target, though.
I
That's one
can't.
of the easier targets.
I can't. There's two people that I cannot stand on, like I just despise on Twitter, and one has the initials BS and the other one's MM. So
yeah, and then there's the good people like Rob saying, "Hey, go check out my buddy here," and he puts all of us on there. So I mean, thank you for that very much. So we'll go through the card and go from there. So let me pull it up.
Is
Yeah,
there a
I'm
buy-in
underprepared.
match?
Yeah, there's a pre-show match. Yeah.
before
match is that?
before we start that, I'm curious. Can each one of you name what match you're looking forward to the most, other than the main event? I mean, even you might not be the main event might not be the one you're most excited for, but I just want to see what other people are thinking. Like
Gotta be Punk versus Kingston.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 2 weeks, it's arguably one of the most anticipated matches of the year.
I'll tell you
I'm
the least match I
excited.
look forward to. The Inner Circle match. I do not care for top I'm sorry. Like I like Inner Circle, but I don't care for the other team. I know Inner Circle's gonna win. I know it's gonna happen. I do not care for that. The build up for the match has been okay, but I think for me it's the least looking forward match. I think besides the main event, either Kingston versus Punk or Darby Allen versus MJF, because that really got personal. Like that
Yeah.
really got personal.
Yeah.
The Punk Kingston obviously sounds great, but I think that just FTR and Lucha Brothers is
That
going to
too.
be
See?
it's going to be great, but I was just curious what you guys thought. So that's all.
And
I
then there's
won't
also
be-
Danielson and Miro, which is
Oh, yeah,
That's
we
the
can't
one
forget
looking
that.
at the card that if I actually had access to, I'd be down to watch.
I have a question for you.
Sheesh.
Did Miro and Brian Danielson ever wrestle in WWE?
Yeah,
One.
they have.
I think that once, right? Yeah.
It was a money win event qualifier.
Oh, because I
think
remember
Miro won.
Miro came in after Brian Danielson became champion and injured, right? And then he came back from 2015. He got hurt again. He couldn't wrestle. And okay, so it happened at one point. Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause-
2018.
Okay.
So we'll go through this whole thing and we'll start from the bottom going up. The Falls Count Anywhere, the Super Click versus Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and the Christian Cage. Lewis, where do you stand on this?
Cannot be anyone else. It has to. I think it's got to be the super pick. You got to keep Adam Cole protected as much as possible, either to build him up for a eventual defeat to a young star, or what seems a lot more likely after yesterday, future shock. That seems like a possibility now, especially now with Kyle O'Reilly's contract coming up. You got to keep that in mind. So I think that if you're gonna keep that story hot, you got to keep Adam Cole protected. And by that, you need to have him win this match. And this is always an 8 to 10, so that's fine. So yeah, I got the super click.
Well, JJ, in his opinion, went the other way. He went with Jurassic Express and Cage in that match. For going with that route, if I'm reading all of this right.
Yeah, I can see it as well because he's again Younger Boy is one of those guys you want to keep effective, maybe for a TV title feud, so not TV TNT title. But yes, I can see why he would pick that.
You
But
could protect Jungle Boy by having Luchasaurus being the one pinned.
yeah,
Yeah.
Luchasaurus is better to eat the pin, so you may as well do it. And
I mean,
at first I thought this was going to be Christian versus Cole, but I'm glad that's not the case. It's the full shit house, so give it to me, please.
All right, so obviously the match that's been built up real quickly, but most anticipated, Punk versus Kingston. Who do you got?
Eddie teased it all of the time. He says, "I don't need to beat you. I'll just have to beat the hell out of you," which is why Punk is going to win. But he's going to go out on a very bad state. But yes, because Kingston is untouchable because he can lose 27 matches and he'll build himself right the fuck up by just cutting a killer promo, and he will be fine. He can just get himself on a TV program without an issue. But yes, like very similar to Cole, you got to keep Punk protected. For what? We don't know, but I think Punk's gonna win.
Okay.
Yeah, I had thought that really, like that was really my biggest thought. But
Punk's gonna win, but it's not the point of the match.
yeah. I do, and I said on the distraction yesterday, cheap plug, that
was awesome.
You did good,
yeah,
Ollie.
that was legitimately like a dream of mine. So that was a really fun show to be a part of. I said that I would like to see Eddie win because I think that the story for that would be great to set up Punk's heel turn. And I mean, again, and then Joe had said like it could also be that Punk wins via like cheating or something. Like I just feel like Punk needs to leave, definitely not as a babyface somehow.
He wasn't sure acting like that on Rampage.
Yeah.
I think he's still too over to be a heel. Like I think people still
Yeah.
are in the honeymoon
He could
period.
play. I'm gonna say this. He plays both roles very good though. Like when he was the heel and face in WWE during the summer, Punk he was amazing at both. Like he could do it.
And then the
So-
3-4-3 reign as well, but one of the best reigns WWE has had in a long time. So like you can see if he goes heel, like he can do anything.
Yeah.
But yes, I think he's gonna win.
So MJF versus Darby Allen. Who do you got? And JJ had Punk in that match.
This one's tough. This one is tough because basically the whole crux of the story has been the 4 pillars, and even MJF said it yesterday, they're canon now. So I really don't know because on one hand, Darby needs to win. Darby needs a win because he hasn't really won a lot of matches ever since the big matches he hasn't really won now. But I do believe that if you're going to build challengers for Adam Page, and if you want to do the full Louis Dangor beat Adam Page in Norfolk,
Oh
you gotta have MJF.
no!
Yeah, I do.
No. I agree with your prediction. I agree with your prediction. I think MJF will win. I still think it will continue, but I think he'll win by cheating. But I'm not going to go with. I'm not going to agree with Louis here and have Adam Page lose like right away the title because that'll probably be the biggest mistake AEW will ever do. Right at early stages, like really, that's one of the biggest mistakes ever, and that will hurt AEW.
Yeah, I just said it just to.
I know.
People, but but at least shout out to Louis. He's a cool guy. Sometimes he can log out of Twitter and chill out. But yeah,
I know, because I know his takes. Sometimes his takes do get people rattled. You know, like he
knows what he's doing.
He gets hot. He does put out a lot of hot takes out there.
I say good for him.
JJ picked Darby. So we're going to keep going up there. AEW Tag Team Championships, Lucha Bros versus FTR. Who do you guys got?
Oh, God. I was contemplating that FTR may win, but then I remember that they still have the AAA tag titles. and I know they did the tapings for AAA, and it's probably going to air on Saturday as well. Their match is probably going to air on Saturday as well, but that's always a factor. I still think that there's going to be a third match within the next 2 months. So I think I'm going to go with the Lucha Bros because of this. I can see FCR if they win the tag titles. I understand, and Joe Holbert mentioned it yesterday. You got to have a short title reign at some. I'm not sure if it was Joel or if it was Drew, if it was Jeremy, but you had to have a short title reign at some point. But I don't think it's going to be the Lucha Bros yet. So yeah, that's the Lucha Bros winning.
JJ has the Lucha Bros also, and we're getting to the nitty gritty of this whole thing. The Inner Circle versus Men of the Year and American Top Team. Who do you got?
It sucks. I'm just gonna say the Inner Circle's gonna win, but this is something that we still gotta keep around. Number 4 on the rankings, guess what it is? It's Scorpio. I feel like that's something that we gotta keep attention on, because especially with Sammy still being the TNT champion. So, but that being said, I still think the Inner Circle are gonna win this, but the celebration will probably be short-lived.
I'm wondering if, like what they did earlier this year with the Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, I'm wondering if this American Top Team thing is going to culminate at Full Gear, and then they're just going to go away, and it's going to go back to Ethan and Scorpio, or if they still stick around. I know. I hope so too.
No, I would hope, because, but then again, I also noticed that Dan Lambert has not been in MLW, I think, all year. He has not been with American Top Team, even though Alex Kane has been awesome. So I don't know if that's gonna have any effect on it. And also,
all I know is
that Lawler is gonna be playing a role in, but I still think the Inner Circle is gonna win.
All I know is there's that one really attractive guy in the American Top Team. I don't remember what his name is, but good Lord, his thighs are amazing. Anyway, continue.
I'm a big Paige Van Zandt guy, or Van Zandt.
Yeah, I know you.
So JJ's got American Top Team.
Of course he will.
All that one.
He's an ATT fanboy. He's a
Dan Lambert.
American Top. They need somebody major in that fact. A wrestler from AEW, a major like a star or somebody to join that faction to see him. For me to see him beat Inner Circle.
Yeah, and like
there was a prediction.
Tom Lawler. Lawler is still there in the lurk.
Right.
But then again, I still don't know if he has a good relationship with American Top Team.
Tom Lawler, and then I had seen some people thinking that maybe Jake Hager was going to turn on them because of but like, good Lord, please.
No. Come on.
Sorry to hear that.
Those guys, if Jake Hager faced those guys and faced the guys that participate in UFC, he would lose.
So the next match on this card, excuse me, is going to be Daniel. We're going to go Bryan Danielson versus Miro, because I'm going to save the last two for in-depth too. Who do you got?
I mean, I'm pretty sure the fact that Moxley is up this, and I'm pretty sure he was going to be a surefire winner. But of course, we all know what happened. I hope he's well, but that's always going to be like the looming factor whenever you think of this match. That being, and I hope Moxley's well. Send wishes to him and the family. So, but with that being said, I think you gotta have Miro. I mean, they say replacements are always the winners. So I do think that Miro's gonna win this tournament.
Wow, he went the other way. He ended up going with Danielson.
I think I'm gonna pick Bryan here, but I have a funny reason why. God's gonna cost Miro a match.
The rope is gone.
And then the next pay-per-view, we're gonna have God versus Miro.
Who plays God though? Jared Leto. That's the answer. Jared Leto's gonna be God.
Yeah.
So the other match on this card that seems like it's going to be one of those quote-unquote JR slobber knockers is going to be Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Taya Conti. Taya's come a long way since NXT, and even further back now into an AEW's kind of made her own niche into it. Who do you have to win through this?
I mean, a Latina is challenging for the title, but a Latina is going to win it. And unfortunately, it's not going to be Ty Conti. I think that title is going to be tailor-made for Thunder Rosa. So in the meantime, Britt Baker, I think she's going to win. But yes, you mentioned it earlier. The evolution of Ty Conti is one of AEW's biggest wins. And arguably, not the biggest, but one of the biggest misses from the Performance Center in years, probably since Lance Archer, all the way in the FCW years. So, yes, I do believe that is a big miss. That right now, NXT will be benefiting a hell of a lot if they had Ty Conti on their roster, especially because that roster looks quite big. But yes, I do believe that the winner is going to be Britt Baker.
Yeah, he agreed with you also with that. And then we'll do the pre-show. I don't know the match, but I know he picked Sade and Thunder Rosa, but we'll go
there's
from
another
there.
match. You forgot Cody and Pac versus Andrade and Aleister Black.
Yeah, he picked Black and Andrade. What do you get?
If Black and Andrade don't win, I'm gonna start a riot. So there you go. That's my pick.
You know when they attacked on Dynamite, I'm like, oh, it's all the WWE invasion, because all the people that were attacking was part of WWE at one point.
And then the most anticipated main event, probably in the last 2 years, but also of this year, Hangman Page, Adam Hangman Page versus Omega, the one and only be end all. I'll give it to you guys. Go ahead. Who do you got?
Kenny Omega for the Heat. I'm just kidding. Of course not. It's gonna be Hangman. It's gotta be Hangman. It cannot be anyone but Hangman. He was the guy since the beginning. He's the guy you built the promotion on since the beginning. You've been telling us this guy's gonna be a champion. He told us from the very first meeting, from the very first press conference, he told us that he was going to win the title. Now it's time. Now and originally I wasn't okay, and right now, and I know it would have been cooked back then, but I was in the boat to have he may be a short-term champion. Not anymore, especially after that cowboy shit promo. Now he should go long. You should build him as the top guy. You build him up this much, it will be a waste if he does not win the belt on Saturday night.
Well, check it out Saturday. We'll see who wins between two of the greatest guys in this community. Got Lewis and JJ going head-to-head at Full Gear. We're going to just have some fun for a little bit, but what else is up here expecting to happen? We got Thanksgiving coming up and stuff, so, and Survivor Series and everything, but what matches that are not key, like AEW and WWE, you guys are looking forward to that are coming up that a lot of people are not aware of?
Well, it's happening this Sunday. Second Gear Crew, FP and AJ Gray versus the Briscoes. Oh my God, that match is gonna rule so much.
Yeah, Okada versus. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Okada versus Buddy Murphy or Matt, whatever it is.
Yeah, but Matthews, yes. This is a do or die for Buddy Matthews, that match, because he needs to show out. I think he will, especially when you have a band partner like Kazuchika Okada. So I think I think they're going to show out very well.
Not a match per se for me, but Kevin Owens' heel turn. I think it was long needed, and I think that was the right moment to have him turn heel. But Raw is going to lose another baby face. I think Finn Balor is like the only other major baby face on that brand. Maybe Damian Priest. I guess Rey Mysterio. And I know people had issues with the naming of the teams on Twitter. But I kind of like what they did on Raw with what they did with that, because we saw what Bobby Lashley basically replaced Dominic, and we now know it's probably obvious Dominic's going to be feuding with his father, which I think is stupid. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not sold on Dominic. I think he's boring, but I do like now that the team is gonna. If you look at the Raw team, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Dominic, and that's it, right?
I think my biggest gripe with that
Finn
team,
Balor, right?
and-
It's Finn Balor, right?
yes, it's Finn. But I think
So
my biggest
because-
gripe
so
with that team
two-
and this after you,
two
after you.
faces and 3 heels, right? And possibly a turn at Survivor Series with Dominic. So I think Raw's going to lose. And that I know it's only a 2-week build, but it looks like we got stuff in there. It's gonna be. I think it's more of a long-term thing there. The women's side, Liv Morgan, finally. She's not going to beat Becky. Obviously not. But I want to see what she could do because she's vastly underrated. And the SmackDown side, I don't know what to say about SmackDown. I like the Shotzi Blackheart heel turn, but I did not like the backstage promo last week. She has some good points though. I'll say that, but it didn't feel authentic to me.
I
Well,
think my biggest problem with the roster, and well, not even with the roster, with Survivor Series in general, a lot of these teams are made up by wrestlers that just moved 2 weeks ago. So like most of SmackDown, everyone on the SmackDown team, except for Baron, I think.
Baron
came from Raw.
never really existed though. To me, my opinion, Baron loyalty never existed. The wrestlers are all selfish. They're all selfish anyway.
You still gotta make a reason for it, other than
the problem is that WWE makes that about brand supremacy.
Which is stupid.
If they didn't do that, then this would be fine.
It's stupid. Don't treat it like it's a sport. Don't treat it like it's a sport. Like you're on this team and all of a sudden you get traded to the next team. Now you're loyal to that team. Don't treat the brands like a sport. Just treat them like there's a show. That's it. Don't treat them like a sport.
But sadly, they do because of the fact that to them it's a moneymaker.
Yeah, exactly. Look. You got New York. You got the Yankees and Boston. They don't make trades with each other because of history. They hate each other, but they're still part of under one umbrella, the MLB umbrella. You know, that's what WWE is. The SmackDown Raw. They're still part of one umbrella. The only difference is don't treat WWE like a sport. Where baseball and other sports are actual sports. Don't treat it like a sport.
Exactly. So I feel it's very, there's merit behind people complaining about what Luis just said because it really is, it's stupid, this brand supremacy thing. Most of these people were just on the other brand. What stakes are there in this? None. So what's the point of any of this?
I know. I agree.
Well, let's end it on a positive note. Next week's kind of very personal and stuff like that. So I'm going to reach out to a lot of people and see what they say. On that ticker, we're going to put a ticker for people to donate if they want in their own way. It's going to be really heart-wrenching for me because of about the day itself, the day after, which will be my mom's 70th. But we're going to have a ticker. We're just going to have a regular show, but we'll have people, if they want to talk about their experiences with cancer, friends that have cancer, stuff like that. And then instead of saying the thumbs up and stuff, we'll have the National Cancer Society website on there for people to donate on their own accord. Cancer does affect a lot of lives. It affects a lot of people on a daily basis. It's touched my life heavily in my life. It's touched the people around me heavily, my family also. So, stuff like this, it's another way to give back and have that point where with Thanksgiving literally right around the corner the following week, that you have to be thankful for the people you have, like you guys being on and being around and being able to talk to on a daily basis, to be thankful to have you guys as extended family and having the people around you in general around. So, I mean, life is a great thing. You just got to have the blessings around it. So we'll have that instead of Welcome to Wakey Crazy Pinfalls. We'll have the National Cancer Society website on there. Their directions to go from there to donate. But it'll be a really good show. Hopefully it can get everybody to stop in, and I'll reach out to a few people. Maybe if you're watching and people, tell them to check in and check out the show. It'll help out. I'll go from the usual circle. Rob, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Fightful.com every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I do coverage for NXT and both the AEW shows. I also do some work on Fightful social media, and what else do I do? There's all kinds of crap I do. I don't even. Oh, I'll be starting a new show, MMA Takedown, on bodyslam.net, December 2nd.
That's awesome.
Got that. Got some other cool things going down the line. So
And-
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
And I'm being selfish. I want to say, if you have access to the other channel, check out your boy's other shows that he did earlier this year. You know, show some love on that stuff too. You know, in the mix with Rob Wilkins. You know, just show that love about that and let him know, hey, you know, all his takes that he had with this idiot right here was pretty valid. So
You know, the thing I just want to say, the thing that did not work about that show, and it was my own damn fault, was the schedule we made for it. Nobody's gonna want to watch it at 6 o'clock on a Friday night. You know?
Well, I mean, there's always another night. We could figure that out down the line. I mean, the years with everything going on, there's always next year.
Yep.
So, but Aaron, tell them where you can find it.
You can find me on my YouTube channel at Aaron War Order. That's Aaron AWO, Aaron War Order. I do, I sometimes do wrestling content. I do pop culture content, like Marvel, Disney, a little bit of Star Wars. I do live streams talking about video games, all that wrestling, Marvel, Star Wars, and all that stuff. And I'm the one who gave Wade Keller all the information about these wrestlers that were just released being hard to work with. I'm just joking. I'm not the one. I do sometimes from time to time make up fake rumors. I do make up sometimes fake rumors just for the fun of it, for satire, but not WWE/comic book rumors. Like, if you want to know, I made up a rumor about Sasha Banks returning at SummerSlam as her Star Wars character, as the Roman Reigns going to DCU as Lobo. A Marvel rumor about, and here's the thing. Becky Lynch joined the MCU as a character named Elsa Bledsoe. And remember yesterday that crazy rumor?
Yeah.
God Lord.
That wasn't your handiwork, was it?
No.
Okay.
I read the article too, and I saw the picture. The article had a lot of misinformation. I'll just say this because the author, whoever wrote it, said she came back at WrestleMania and stuff. I'm like, no, she did not come back at WrestleMania. And so,
All
yeah.
True, you're up.
You can find me on Twitter at Big Money Drew, and that's really the only place I am these days. Maybe we'll make an appearance. I haven't talked to Joel yet about the Fightful Twitch stream for Full Gear. I might be on that. I've been on the past two. I love doing those. Those are great fun. And yeah, that's it.
All right, Louis.
Oh, and yeah, watch my distraction appearance yesterday because that was friggin' phenomenal and I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
That was
great,
really
man.
good. That was real good.
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead, Louis.
Oh, and you can find me on Twitter at the Luis Pulido, and you can also find me on Fightful too. I'm doing some translation bylines. I'm also the super chat executive on the Fightful stream, so every time you donate, I will be collecting them so you can check them out. And also, you can find me on Daily DDT. I'm probably covering some Ring of Honor shows because Honor is real. So I'm probably.
Oh man. Every time, when that news broke, I thought of you first. Actually, when they announced that, so your honor is real. You keep doing that strong. Keep doing it.
Thank you. And yes, you can still find me within Daily DDT, and also I may show up on the watch along for Full Gear, so you can check me out there.
I'm going to say this very nicely and very honestly. You guys, I am lucky to have you guys in my life. I am appreciative of everything you do and grateful for you guys taking the time out to do this and the tournament. It's going to be we're getting into the nitty gritty of this tournament, getting the home stretch. You guys can find me in the usual spots. The Twitter is still the same and everything else. So other than that, check out Fightful. Show support and love for these guys. Hell, even Ray Callahan, he hasn't been on in a while. Tell him to come by. We miss him, and stuff like that. Hit up Maggie and ask for really cool, mixed drink ideas and stuff. Other than that,
just that from her.
Oh yeah. Other than that, do a good deed, pay it forward. Next week's gonna be rough, but we'll get through it. Remember, everybody's lives gets touched in some way from ailments or diseases and stuff. I mean, look at COVID, for God's sakes. But again, do a good deed, pay it forward. Have a good night.